Hello, and welcome to this presentation for Data 620 Fall 2018 semester at the University of Maryland University College. My name is Leonardo Lapidario, and during this short presentation, we will dive into some small hockey statistics, and we will predict how many goals will Alexander Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals score in his 14th NHL season. The first figure is a simple bar chart that depicts the top 20 goal scorers in NHL history. Prior to the 2018 season, Alexander Ovechkin came in at number 19 on this list with 607 total goals. Wayne Gretzky sits at the top of this list with 894 total career goals, followed by some of the greats like Gordie Howe, Jaromir Jagr, Phil Esposito, Mike Gardner, Mark Messier, Mario Lemieux, Timo Saloon, and many others. This second figure is a time graphic that depicts the number of goals scored and the goals per game average for the top 20 players in NHL history. As you'll see, there are two orange lines. One is Alexander Ovechkin, and one is the average of all the players' goals scored in each of their individual seasons. I'll first highlight on Alexander Ovechkin, just so we can see that he is a little bit in the middle of the pack compared with the rest of the group, but he is above this average line, which takes the average goals scored by the top 20 players. The same is true for the goals per game. This third figure is another time graph, but this time the period is by year instead of by the season that the player is in. So the year starts in the mid-1940s, and you'll notice the top graph shows that the average goals scored per game by a team, not by an individual. The bottom graph shows the average goals scored per game by the top 20 players, all-time scorers in NHL history. We'll go back to the top graph, and you might notice that in the 1980s, scoring was a bit higher, coming just in over 4 goals per game for a team. It continued at a high trend during the 80s, but then it did take a decrease in the 90s, and before the 2000 decade was even below 3 goals per game, a full 1 goal per game per team drop in just under 15 to 20 years. There is a forecast, and it does project that in the 2018 season, there will be 2.85, almost 3 goals scored per game. The bottom graph does depict that Alex Ovechkin has a higher goals per game scoring average than the rest of the top 20 players, but this is also taking into consideration the years that the players were playing. This fourth figure is a scatter plot, and this shows that a comparison between league save percentage for goalies against league goals per game. As we noticed in the last chart, there was a lot higher scoring in the 1980s, so you'll notice that there were more goals per game and a lower league save percentage, meaning that goalies were not saving as many goals. Come back to the 2000s and 2010s, there was less goals per game and a higher save percentage. There is a direct negative correlation between league save percentage and league goals per game. This final figure is our money slide. This is showing the forecast of Alex Ovechkin's goals for the 2018 season based on two different ways. The first way, which is the top graph, takes Alex Ovechkin's scoring total during his first 13 seasons, and based on this number, it projects that in the 2018 season, his 14th in the NHL, he will score 45 goals. This is a little bit skewed because during the first 16 games of the NHL season, Alexander Ovechkin has already scored 12 goals, putting him on pace for 62 goals. So now I know that he needs to keep that pace up and bear any injuries, but this actually is inside of our bands. 62 goals is right inside of our bands, but it is higher than the 45 goals projected by the forecast. The second way that the forecast is being made is by the top 20 goal scorers in NHL history minus Alexander Ovechkin, taking their goals averaged over each of their individual seasons, and then taking that and basing and forecasting Alex Ovechkin's goals scored for the 14th season. The 14th season for this way is projecting him to score 37 goals. And this, again, is not the greatest, because in the actual 14th season for the top 20 goal scorers in NHL history, they scored on average 30 goals per game, which, again, falls inside of our interval here, but it is below what the projection is. All data was retrieved from hockeyreference.com, and I appreciate the time that you have taken to listen to my presentation today. Have a good day.